here on board a Brig 620, which is the tender to this Riviera 47 that I've kindly borrowed. And I want to demonstrate how best to tie up a tender alongside another boat so that it doesn't crash and bang all night, keep you up. The trick with tying any tender up is having lines that have a bit of stretch in them for starters. So yachting sheet, like this stuff, it's great if you're sailing, they don't want stretch, and this is very strong stuff, but we don't need anything that heavy, and it sinks, so that's no good to you either. That creates a whole group of problems. So the best way, what we're trying to achieve when we're tying up alongside, usually if you're anchored or on a mooring, the mothership's hanging into the breeze, perfect. That's when this system's going to work really well. So what we're trying to achieve is a tunnel of wind between the two boats. To get that to happen, this is the key. This is the key line here. This is what I call the spring line. This line's probably a little bit heavy for this job, for this little tender, but that's all we have at the moment. Length is important as well, because the longer the line, the stretchier it is, the less jarring. Think of it, if you're into four-wheel driving, think of it as a snatch strap. Okay? So this is your snatch strap. This is taking most of the load. The breeze is blowing this way. Unfortunately today, it's too perfect a day to really give a good example. So we've got a bow line, just pan around to the bow line, or the painter. That's fairly loose. All that's doing is stopping the bow from drifting too far out. You see it tight now. If you come back here, see the gap between the mothership and the tender? The gap just widens up here. If the bow goes out too far, the stern of the tender will end up hooking the swimboard, so we don't want that. So we've got the wind blowing this way, pulling the tender back. This line's tight, the wind's blowing and creating this tunnel down between the tenders. This little fender here is stopping the stern of the boat, where all the pressure is, from whacking the mothership. And then we have this little line which keeps the stern in. So this little line here, I've taken it across to the other side of the boat. The reason I've taken it across again is to try and get the stretch. The longer the line, the more stretch, the less jarring there is. So that's exactly what that's doing. So that holds the tender in at the back, and it's not going anywhere as long as the breeze is blowing this way. What can happen though is if there's no breeze, the boat can drift forward like this, which can create another few issues. So if that's going to happen, you need another spring line going forward back to the cleat here to hold the tender back. Or if you're just rafting the tender alongside so that you can keep it close to the boat while you go and pull up a mooring, drive through a bay without hitting other boats, you don't want to be worried about 20 foot of tow line behind you. But just shorten this little line here straight to the cleat temporarily, and that will do the job also.